Hello and welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to Eternal Playback, a fight show dedicated to taking you behind the scenes of Australia's premier mixed martial arts organisation, none other than Eternal MMA. My name is Tanira Nathan, better known as MCT, your host this evening, and tonight I'm joined by none other than the Black Panther, Diego Pereira. Diego, Eternal 65, we've just wrapped up here at the Southport Shark Sports Club. What a night we've had.
What a night we had indeed, man. That was excellent, and I'm so excited to break this down right here with you, my friend.
I can't wait myself. Obviously, the main event, probably the most talked about fight in the history of this sport in this country. We'll get to that in a minute. But overall, when you're reviewing both the undercard and the main card, was there anything that stood out to you?
Man, there was so many great fights that went down tonight at Eternal 65. It's kind of hard to pick one, but one that stood out to me the most was the performance by Jamie Sporn, the welterweight. He just came out strong and just gave his opponent nothing and finished him in the first clean. We'll get to that in a second.
Absolutely, we will indeed. Jamie Sporn, one of the many big names we saw on the main card here at Eternal 65. So without further ado, let us review our first bout of the evening. Only one way to find out. Round one, Tanira Nathan cage side with Ben Vickers, Eternal 65 here at the Southport Shark Sports Club.
Yeah, no glove touch there. Lachlan's all business. I like that. It's a bit of me. What a low leg kick there. You know, so prevalent in the game. It's amazing that it's only in recent years people have actually been taking advantage of that kick. What a big body kick there. Oh, he's cut him open there.
JJ's hurt. He goes down and Deadshot swarms in.
Good, smart, veteran move. You know, this man's been doing martial arts for a long time. Close the distance. That's the first rule of self-defense, right? When you're in trouble,
that's good.
If you can't run away, which you can't in a cage, you've got to close the distance and get close to your opponent.
Well, he's got a wealth of experience as JJ Tahui, and you saw it there. He knew he was hurt, so he swarmed him straight away, but he's not out of the woods yet, Ben.
Yeah, and look, there's a wealth of blood coming out of his forehead as well at the moment. And Lachlan is a man on a mission. You know, JJ missed weight yesterday, and Lachlan wants to punish him for that. You know, it wasn't just a small miss either, so Lachlan feels disrespected by that, and you know, JJ's going to have to answer for that now.
Is that the worst thing you can do, Ben, as a fighter? Is it the most disrespectful thing you can do disrespectfully?
Yeah, look.
Miss weight?
When it's that big.
Yeah.
Like, if you miss by a couple of 100 grams, scales are different, blah, blah, saunas, baths, you know, traveling, there's all...
Watch that head.
I mean, yes, you should make weight. We all know that, but 2 kilos is hard to forgive.
Yeah.
It's almost like... And it's not like it's the 2 kilos of a dude that's walked in here, chiseled and carved out of stone. Something's gone wrong in the preparation there, and, you know, only JJ knows, but he's answering for that now.
Well, look how aggressive Lachlan is now. He's certainly punishing him. That is a huge amount of blood coming from Lachlan still.
Yeah, look.
He's got to fight back. Peter Hickmont watching this fight very closely. It's all Lachlan Stitt in round one. Ben punishing this man is the man they call Deadshot. JJ's in a world of trouble.
To be fair, this is what Lachlan said yesterday at the weigh-ins, what he was going to do to him. This is what he said to me. This is what he wanted to do to JJ.
Oh,
he wanted to make him pay for not making the weight. And unfortunately, that's going to be enough for me.
No, that's it. That's it. This fight's over. And Deadshot is relentless in his pro debut. Victorious in round one.
Look, everything that we talked about, you know, Lachlan's praises have been nothing but sung highly and deservedly so, you know. He said he did exactly what he said he was going to do. He was going to go out there and punish JJ, and the striking was clinical too. It wasn't like a wild man going berserk. It was a clinical beating, and you know, JJ, credit to him, he hung in there and he's tough, and he looked to close the distance and minimize the damage he was taking. He definitely wasn't looking for a way out, but Lachlan gave him nowhere to go. And
that was brutal, and this was the beginning of the end. That knee, he went for a high kick, but it was the knee that landed, Ben. Jitsu Club replay will show the rest.
Yeah, look, absolutely. And again, I've been really impressed with the clinicalness of people's finishing tonight. When it has been time to go for the finish, the fighters have really got after it. And, you know, sometimes these chances don't come that often in a fight, and if you don't take advantage of them, you miss your opportunity. And, you know, fantastic performance from Lachlan, and I'm sure JJ will be back. You know, he's got to go back to the drawing board, but he ran into a monster tonight.
Ladies and gentlemen, our referee in charge has called a stop to this bout at 2 minutes 14 seconds into round number 1, declaring your winner via TKO in the blue corner, Lachlan Deadshot Steele.
That was an explosive professional debut. Pretty much as soon as it started, it was over. Did you anticipate it would go that way?
Not really. I like to anticipate, you know, he's tough, he's black belt jiu-jitsu. I knew he's a tough dude, and he did take some punishment in that fight. I just didn't want to rush my performance. You know, I knew I had the gas tank, I just didn't want to rush anything. Just be patient. Now that I'm pro, 5 minutes, you know, I wanted to put on a good performance, but hey, I got the early finish, and that's a plus.
And you had a lot of energy as well. I guess, what has your fitness been like going into this?
Pretty good, you know, my conditioning and everything. My coach Moe runs all that. We do high level conditioning, you know, running, stuff like that. So I'm very confident in my gas tank. I know I have the gas tank, but also the power to knock people out.
And you've quit your other job to really focus on fighting. How does that feel coming off a win like that? Does it make you feel like you've made the right decision?
Yeah, 100%. You know, made that decision probably mid last year to pack it in and just pursue fighting. So far, you know, we've been working really hard. Just gives me more time to focus on my goals, focus on my fighting, my nutrition, you know, recovery, everything like that. And you've seen tonight, that's the result of all that hard work.
So the focus does pay off?
100% it does. Focus and dedication always pays.
And you mentioned it helps you get to your goals. What are those?
You know, now that I'm signed to Eternal exclusively, that was a sort of minor goal for me. Now that I've crushed that, you know, first fight, knockout. Next fight, let's just keep building it Eternal. You know, that belt's vacant, so let's move up there. Let's go.
Well, what a performance by Lachlan Stitt on debut as a professional here at Eternal 65. It was all one-way traffic for the welterweight against JJ Tahuya. Bit of a backstory, JJ missed weight by 2 kilograms, and you can see that Lachlan was obviously out to punish him here this evening.
Indeed it was, man. He came out strong and hurt Tahuya early with a big right hand, and ultimately was just too much for him. He hurt him. Tahuya was unable to recover, and the referee stepped in and stopped that fight, so that was a great performance by Lachlan Stitt.
Well, congratulations to Lachlan Stitt, moving to 1-0 in his professional mixed martial arts career here at Eternal 65. Our next bout featured a welterweight clash between the man they call the Wu-Tang Orangutan, Jamie Spawn, and Kieran Daly. Broadcast team doing a fantastic job here this evening. Tanir and Nathan cage side with Ben Vickers. It's Jamie Spawn in the red, Kieran Daly, the Irishman, in the blue, finding himself in a spot boiler up against the cage early, Ben.
Yeah, look, we might have expected this from Jamie. He's a grappler, you know, and he's a black belt, and he's dangerous. And you know why Kieran prefers to stand with that Thai boxing style, and let's nullify that. And it's smart thinking from an experienced martial artist here. And he's going to take his time now, and they're dry. This is the issue when you fight in MMA, and they get you when you're dry.
That's a good point, Ben. There's a lot to grab for the Wu-Tang Orangutan.
And that's so smart to use the cage like that.
Look at this.
You can place your foot flat on the cage. That is not a foul. When you put your toes through. Now we've got the triangled legs.
Look at this. This is integrated MMA all over, Ben.
Yeah, it's that smothering style. We're going to get up in your face, and you know, Jamie fighting to his strengths, and Kieran just needs to stay calm. It's early. He's fresh. There's no panic. He's not shipping huge amounts of damage. He just needs to take his time, figure out where the gaps are, and not make any mistakes. You know, great knees here.
Totally, and take nothing away from Kieran. He's not being given much of a choice here, but with Chris Brown, former Olympian, in your corner, you're well and truly prepared for this, aren't you, Ben?
Yeah, absolutely. And look, Kieran is going to address the hands first. That's the issue, and he's smart there. He pushed the hook off, but Jamie's relentless here. He's like, this is where I want to be, and I'm staying here. And it's smart to attack instead of just stalling and waiting. If you're attacking, then the other person hasn't got time to think too much about changing the position, just surviving the position. And he's locked in on that neck so fast. Good fight in the top hand, but this is a bad place to be with Jamie Spawn on your back.
This is tough for Kieran. The Wu-Tang Orangutan, those long arms.
He's doing all the right things. He needs to keep that hand now. And look, he's showing that he knows what he's about here. This is a good grappler on his back, and
he's defending well, Ben.
Yeah, you can't ask for any more in this position. It's hard. I had a similar position with one of my fighters recently, and the standing when they're dry is so difficult to get them off. When there's a bit of sweat, it becomes a much harder position to keep.
Absolutely, and Kieran Daly still well and truly in this fight. Jamie Spawn.
And Kieran is really showing solid defence here. But a great round for Jamie. He's only halfway through. He's locked in with a body triangle on the back. You can see that his toes just poking out behind Kieran's knee, just keeping him there, and that hand is hidden.
Oh,
this is going to be tough.
Oh, that is uncomfortable.
This is going to be tough to get out, and yeah, I think he's gone.
And that's it, ladies and gentlemen. The Wu-Tang Orangutan is back. And he's having a word to Cam O'Neill. Congratulations to the Wu-Tang Orangutan. Quick work for Jamie Spawn tonight, Ben.
It's almost a dream come true for a grappler when you can get the back with no sweat. And look, Jamie showed that black belt patience, you know, attempt after attempt. And when you're leading the dance, you only need it to work for you once, you know, and he got ahead, and you can only defend for so long.
Well, congratulations to Jamie Spawn. Kieran Daly, he fought well for the...
Mate, he fought till the end. He went to sleep. You can do no more than that. He fought that choke until the very last second, and the light shut out. But he never gave in. That is not a submission. That is not. He did not give up. He got choked unconscious.
Absolutely. Well, you couldn't really do much with a guy that big and that strong. The Wu-Tang Orangutan is back, ladies and gentlemen.
Had just such beautiful control to display against a very talented fighter. You know, so
that yourself. You've had experience with Kieran before, haven't you, Ben?
Well, yeah, that and also I've had experience with that position before with Khan Deata on Eternal over in Perth, and he's one of my fighters. He fought Jesse Armstrong, a really talented Jitsu guy who did the same thing. Got the striker on the back when they were fresh and not slippy, and it's really hard to get out from that position.
Well, we take a look at the replay here. It took a while for Jamie Spawn to lock that rear naked choke in. Nonetheless, he got there eventually. And as you mentioned, Ben, Kieran Daly given no choice but to go to sleep. And as they check in with each other, great show of respect shown by these two gentlemen.
Ladies and gentlemen, our referee in charge has called a stop to this fight at 2 minutes 51 seconds of round number 1, declaring your winner via submission due to a rear naked choke in the red corner, Jamie the Wu-Tang Orangutan Spawn.
Jamie Spawn is back, ladies and gentlemen, and if you didn't know, now you know. Congratulations, Jamie, and congratulations to Adrian Pang and the team at Integrated MMA. Adrian Pang, he's got a busy night coming up with his man Trevor Sinclair. Our next fight on UFC Fight Card. He'll jerk the curtain for Niam Stephen. But there he is in shot with the Wu-Tang Orangutan, and Ben flawless in his victory here tonight.
Yeah, absolutely, and he showed the patience. And if you look at the details in the finish, you know, the way he got the head across the forearm to block the attempt at pulling the hand back, the top hand back out, and once it's trapped in like that, there's nowhere to go but to sleep.
Absolutely, and Kieran Daly did so, but the moment belongs to Jamie Spawn. He's with Blake.
Ladies and gentlemen, I am here with your winner and still undefeated 2-0, Jamie the Wu-Tang Orangutan Spawn. First of all, fantastic fight name and an even better performance inside the cage tonight. Jamie, your grappling really was the difference in this fight. You implemented your will early, locking him up against the cage. He showed incredible toughness, fighting off the first few attempts, but then eventually showing toughness, had to go to sleep. The body has to listen to the choke. Were you surprised by his toughness, and was that your game plan coming in all along?
Was not surprised by this guy's toughness. I knew he was tough. Give it up for my opponent. He's a great guy. I actually met him in the sauna yesterday while cutting weight. He helped me out a little bit. He's a legend, so thank you so much, Kieran. Was not surprised by his toughness, but definitely not surprised by the victory. As soon as I get anyone's back, they're going to sleep.
Well, a great show of sportsmanship there and a great show of confidence as well. Now, you trained down at Integrated MMA under Adrian Pang, a legendary coach in the Australian MMA scene. You train alongside previous lightweight champ Dan Hill. Tell me, what is it like having that kind of experience and that kind of high-quality training sparring partners?
Mate, we live this shit every day, and be able to have those guys in my corner, in my gym, means everything to me. It really, when I'm doing that walk, and I know who I train with, and I know how I go with them, gives you all the confidence in the world to come out here, just do what I do in the gym.
Well, you showed that confidence through and through, not a lick of doubt on your face. Now, Jamie, you've come out and you've made an absolute statement to the welterweight division here at Eternal. Do you have any names in mind? I know you're an active fighter. You love this stuff. You've got the support of the crowd behind you. Jamie, do you have a name?
I don't have a name, but I know that Jack Della has gone up to the UFC. That welterweight belt is vacant. Cam, you line him up. I'll knock him down, mate. Let's do it. Anybody.
There you have it, ladies and gentlemen. Calling for the eternal welterweight belt. Give it up one more time for your winner, Jamie, the Wu-Tang Orangutan Spawn.
Well, a fantastic return to the eternal cage for the Wu-Tang Orangutan, Jamie Spawn. A round one finish, flawless, you could say, Diego. I know this is one of your favourite moments of this evening.
Man, that was a flawless performance indeed. Jamie came out strong, got a takedown straight away early in the first round, wasted no time, immediately put his opponent, Kieran Daly, on the back foot. Man, and once he had a hold of him, just Kieran had no answer. And Jamie climbed up on his back, straight away gets a standing back control, and immediately start chasing that rear naked. Kieran does a good job defending that initial threat, peels that hand, you can see it's very close, but then eventually Jamie gets it through again and ends up finishing him standing with that rear naked, which was very, very impressive. He put him to sleep whilst he was standing. That was unbelievable.
Absolutely unreal. Flawless in his return to the eternal stage here this evening. Looking forward to seeing Jamie Spawn back in action sooner than later. Our next bout of the evening featured two of the top lightweights here at Eternal 65, a bout between Trevor Roadkill Sinclair and Niam Stephen.
Mate, Trevor is looking intense and in shape. This is the best I've ever seen Trevor look, and the way he was pacing around the cage, I don't know if they saw it on camera, but he's like a man possessed in there.
He is well and truly ready. Ben Vickers, Trevor Sinclair versus Niam Stephen, and Trevor
he's
comes
landing
out
heavy
firing.
early.
My goodness, those calf kicks, Ben.
They're a big part of the game plan, you can see that, and he's thrown them with bad intentions. Niam cannot take them all night. They will take their toll. He needs to move. He needs to lighten up the front leg and get on his toes. And now, you know, it's really clever. He's attacking low and then coming up high.
Oh, Trevor Sinclair looking awesome as he looks to defend a shot from Niam Stephen. A good choice, you'd have to think, Ben. He had a few shots on the way in.
Yeah, well, look, he wasn't having the rub of the green on the feet, so he's took it to the ground. It's smart. Now, Trevor's just got to, again, like we say, it's early in the fight. He's dry. He looks like he's got a little cut as well, but, you know, something like that doesn't bother Roadkill. El Chapo here looking to ground the fight and see what he can do. Hitting a switch. Trevor's on the switch, and he's got back to his feet and turned the position.
Beautiful by Sinclair.
Fantastic wrestling there from Trev. Now he's got the body lock and he's on the back. And talk about a role reversal.
And especially training out of integrated MMA, Trevor Sinclair could do this in his sleep. I mean, he's done this so many times under coach Adrian Payne. Plenty of teammates to push him in preparation for this camp. Niam Stephen finding himself in a tough spot to bother early on, Ben.
And doing the right things there, pummeling for the underhook. Saw the little bit of space, pummeled in, got the underhook.
Beautiful technique.
Turned him. Now he has dominant position on the cage, landing little dirty boxing shots.
Trevor looks vicious tonight, Ben. I've never seen fire in the eyes of Trevor Sinclair like I'm seeing right now.
Yeah, look, he's a proud man, and he's lost his first 2 pro fights after such a good amateur career. He wants that win. It's a big task for Niam to stop him having that tonight. And Trevor's shown he's got the striking edge probably on the evidence of the early exchanges. So this is smart from Niam. Just take big knee, absorbed, and he's hunting that takedown again. Great balance being displayed from Trevor, and he's just remaining calm in all these spots.
Well, he goes down again, but it looks like he's going to be getting straight back to his feet unless Niam Stephen has something to say about that.
Yeah, it's only a takedown if you accept it, you know, and Trevor's not accepting these takedowns. This is an interesting position now. He's got to watch the reverse triangle here because there's an arm out and there's an arm in.
Yes, indeed, Ben.
And the cage is going to block his escape route. Well, look, he's managing to land some damage, so it can't be overly tight, and it looks like he might just squeeze out the back. The armbar might become a problem.
Well, it looks quite tight from where we're sitting. Nonetheless, Trevor Sinclair looks to be defending quite well so far.
I've no doubt he's been here before.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely, and he gets out.
Yeah. And straight into the double unders, but Stephen's relentless on these takedowns. He's obviously decided that's his path to victory, and he's getting after it.
Well, as we spoke about earlier, Trevor Sinclair getting the better of Niam Stephen in the early rounds in the earlier stages of the round. Sorry, Ben, in the fight, and this is a good game plan from Mr. Stephen, as you said.
Absolutely, yeah. You know, you've got to fight the fight where you have the best chance to win, and it wasn't looking like that was on the feet. Oh, that was a quick transition to the back. There's no hooks here, but the choke is tight.
Well, he's got one in. He's snapped in the other, and this fight is over just like that. Niam Stephen submits Trevor Sinclair in round number 1. Wow.
Fantastic. I mean, the way he snuck that choke in there, and even without the hooks, it was that tight that he was clinging on to Trevor by the choke, if you like. And, you know, it's extremely disappointing for Trevor because he looks so good. It's one of them. It's one of them. He's got to come back and he's got to keep going. He is a good fighter.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, there was so much expectation placed on Trevor at the beginning of his professional MMA career. And you mentioned it, Ben. He's fought the best in the business in Josh Kuhn and Tom Nolan. Neem Stephen, well and truly worthy to be in that same conversation, as he's been one of the best fighters in Australia at this stage, Ben.
Absolutely, yeah. And you know, that's a good win for Neem, you know, 2-0. And again, in a very, very deep division, he's just made a little bit of a statement there.
Well, this was the beginning of the end for Trevor Sinclair, thanks to Jitsu Club replay, and that choke snapped on straight away.
So quick.
Trevor Sinclair giving no choice but to submit.
It wasn't just the speed of it, it was he got it in so deep so quickly, so there was no chance to fight. And once the air's being cut off, and Trev just saying, look, get up, mate, it's your moment.
Absolutely.
And look, Trevor's a professional, and you know, he'll be back. I really hope he's back. He is a very talented guy, and he will get that win, I have no doubt about it. But tonight belongs to Stephen.
It does indeed.
He's up on the cage celebrating, and it's such a sport of highs and lows and, you know, conflicting emotions. One team goes home and has a great night, celebrates, and the other team, you know, you have to go home, lick your wounds and regroup. But that's why you need a good team of people around you.
The thrill and the agony, Ben, as we call it in this sport. And here is Blake Richardson to make it official.
Ladies and gentlemen, our referee in charge has called a stop to this fight at 3 minutes 20 seconds in round number 1. Declaring your winner via submission due to a rear naked choke in the blue corner, Neem El Chapo Stephen.
Neem Stephen, victorious here tonight. He takes his professional MMA record to 2-0. And Ben, for a division that is so deep, the Eternal Lightweight division, we could be looking at something special in Neem Stephen.
Yeah, absolutely. Look, he's shown he's got the fortitude and the skill and the ability. I mean, as a grappler, I mean, the speed he jumped on that choke. And yeah, look, it's interesting to see. We're going to find out, right?
Yeah, absolutely. Well, as they celebrate their victory here tonight, congratulations to Neem Stephen and the team at Nova Martial Arts. And he's with Blake to give us his thoughts on his victory.
Ladies and gentlemen, I'm here with your winner, Neem El Chapo Stephen. Still undefeated as a pro, moving to 2-0. Neem, you had a real tough test in front of you tonight in a very tough opponent in Trevor Roadkill Sinclair there. Tell me, how did you approach facing such a durable opponent inside the cage tonight?
Well, we knew he was going to come hard and fast, and he did. And, you know, we just tried with the patience. We're just going to stick back, use the whole octagon. Don't just, like, let him bum rush us, basically. Just keep going. Cutting angles, whatever we needed to do.
Yeah, and we noticed that he landed a couple of the early exchanges there in round 1. You didn't seem too overly phased. You rallied, you got him up against the cage, you inflicted your grappling upon him, and ultimately were able to sink in that very quick rear naked choke to secure the victory there. Was that something that just happened in the spirit of the moment there?
Yeah, it just happened. We didn't plan for it. I trained to get people's backs all the time, like that's my thing to go to, and it just happened. I was like, all right, sweet, there's that takedown. He was, I don't know, in the turtle or whatever, and I just like, yep, there's the back. Sweet, got it. Arm around the neck.
Well, that muscle memory on full display there tonight, Neem. Listen, before I let you go to celebrate with your team, can we hope to see you again inside the Eternal Cage before the end of the year?
I don't know, Cam, can we? Do we get to see me back in here? Hey, that's what we like to see. Yes, I want to be back here, of course. This is awesome. The best promotion I've ever fought on. I'd love to be back.
Well, you want to be back. The fans want you back. Well, one more time, ladies and gentlemen, let's hear it for your winner, Neem El Chapo Stephen.
And just like that, Diego, Neem Stephen introduces himself to the lightweight division here at Eternal 65. Trevor had a bit of success on the feet. Nonetheless, that rear naked choke literally came out of nowhere.
Nowhere, right? Trevor did a very good job defending and fighting hard for those takedowns, defending those takedowns, that is. But his opponent was just relentless with it, got 3 takedowns, and ultimately in the scramble, he was able to sink in that rear naked and get Trevor Sinclair out of there. That was very impressive.
Absolutely impressive to say the least. Congratulations to Niam Stephen, but no doubt we'll see both these gentlemen back inside the Eternal Cage, hopefully very soon. Our next fight of the evening featured two of the most exciting prospects at Eternal 65. In the lightweight division, it was Dom Marfan versus Roy Warbread Armistead. Division scheduled for 3 possible 5-minute rounds. Pete Hickmott, our man in the middle, Tanir and Nathan cage side with Ben Vickers. Round 1 is underway. Huge head kick landed by Roy Armistead early in this fight.
Yeah, Roy is a credentialed striker. He has an extensive striking background and he's undefeated in the striking art. So, you know, look for him to keep the fight there, and Dom very sensibly looking to take this fight somewhere else.
And a beautiful takedown and a fantastic transition there for Dom.
Yeah, look, and the fight's played itself out early, right? Dom's going to want to grapple.
Yep.
Roy's going to want to stand in the middle of the cage and stop this happening. Roy was smart, scooting back all the way to the cage there, and it's a good tool to get yourself back to your feet, but Dom was onto it. And
well, we'll find out if Roy has any answers for what seems to be the superior grappling of Dom Marfan. No doubt he would have got his rounds in at Bones MMA.
Yeah, I know Callum Potter goes down there sometimes and does some work with Roy. So, that, you know, former Eternal champ, former UFC fighter, he's got a great training partner there. But Dom's going to look to stay busy here and just keep Roy, again, behind the 8 ball and reacting to his stuff, which is going to make it much harder for him to get up. He's straight into the mount.
Straight into mount, Ben. Look at that.
Toes locked. Roy needs to control posture here now. Until he can sort the feet out, which he's done well. He's broken the grip on the feet, and he's managed to get half guard, kind of. And Dom steps straight over back into that mount.
Goodness gracious me, this is almost too easy for Dom Marfan as he lands some big shots, keeping Roy Armistead stuffed up against the net's barrier of the cage.
But Roy is actually doing well to minimize the damage that he's taking here. You know, he's in bad positions and he's getting dominated, but he's not taking damage.
But he's back to his feet, Ben, and this is where Roy needs to be.
Yeah, and look, he's fishing for that head position. He's got double overhooks. So he's going to try and keep those arms linked together and keep them away from his hips. Keep Dom's arms away from his hips. And unfortunately, that just leaves his midsection wide open because Dom's got the underhook, so he's in control of that exchange.
Look at that head pressure, Ben. Relentless.
Beautiful. It's a no-brainer, the head position. It's an extra weapon, the forehead. It should be used at all times. Not like a headbutt, of course, but, for pressure.
I totally understand.
It's not the year 1990. and can Roy separate here? He's going to look for that separation.
But Dom is sticking to him like glue at the moment. He can't grab the cage there, Warbread. It's so tempting, isn't it, Ben?
Well, it's instinct.
It's right there.
And he doesn't want to fall over, so his instinct is to reach out and grab it. It's against the rules, but he's had the warning.
Huge hip toss there by
Beautiful hip toss
Marfan.
from Dom, and he's gone knee on belly here, but great explosion from Roy then. Look, Roy's not going to accept any of these positions, which is great to see as a coach. You don't want to see someone just laying there and going, oh, I'm here, like I'm just going to... He's looking to improve his position at all times, which is a positive sign, but Dom's doing really well of just being that one step ahead on the ground.
Armistead looks to find his feet. He doesn't give his back there, does he, Ben?
Strength, determination, and good fundamentals there to get himself back to the feet. He's doing everything right.
Gosh.
He needs to get that separation.
Yeah, he does.
And again, great grab, but the heavy hips of Roy there.
Now Roy's going to... Yeah, go ahead.
No, we were both thinking the same thing.
Yeah, we're on the same page.
Be very surprised.
Step back if you want him up. Good.
And this is where Roy needs to be.
Yeah, to me, he's just a bit over-eager with his striking. He needs to just not load up so much and allow Dom the space, the entries.
Huge
Oh, that's
right
a big
hit,
shot.
Roy. Wow!
Great sprawl. He's got to keep sprawling. He's going to drive him to the cage. That's great defense from Roy. And look, these are the things that...
Oh, look at this, Ben. What defense from Warbread.
But chain wrestling from Dom. You know, he took that heavy shot and he's still got the faculties together to chain the wrestling together.
Oh, absolutely.
Now we see the conditioning. When you're taking a heavy shot like that, your conditioning comes into play now. Sprawl again, good hits from Roy, and he's going to take a lot of confidence out of this last 30 seconds of action.
Oh, most definitely. 30 seconds to go in round one.
He's just overloading his shots now. He's getting a little bit over eager. I'm sure when he goes back to the corner, Matt Williams is going to tell him just to calm down. The moment will arrive. He just needs to wait for it. Set it up.
10 seconds left in the very first round. Roy Armistead, for what has been a challenging round one, seems to be finishing off this round in a positive manner. To shoot and take Roy to the ground and implement what worked so well for him in round number one.
Yeah, look, if he's smart, he's going to take advantage. We'll see if Roy's calmed down. And yeah, look, he's working on the jab now.
Yes.
He's going to try and be a bit more patient in his approach. Beautiful jab now. An amazing weapon that is underused in this sport, unfortunately, the jab.
Well, with that boxing background, Ben, expect Roy Armistead to use it and use it well here in round two.
And I love his footwork now. He's just changing feet position. He's not moving too big because he's in the pocket. He's in range. You need to have your weight underneath you, but he's constantly changing his position a little bit if you watch. So he's not presenting Dom an easy target and even a target for his takedowns because his feet are moving.
Speaking of takedowns, here comes Marfan, stuffed by Armistead.
It wasn't set up. That's the issue.
Naked takedown, Ben.
Naked takedown. Oh, lovely elbow there on the inside. Return by Roy, and here we go.
Don Marfan says, give me the smoke, I want it all.
Yeah, and these boys are laying it on the line. They're in the pocket throwing hard.
Oh, and that's a beautiful entry.
But, you know, Roy is all over it at the moment. He's in the zone. He's got Dom's timing, and he's kind of sussed when he's going to go. He's going to fight this little war of attrition here. Good head position again. It's good to see. Great little elbow on the inside there. Dom's talented with those little elbows on the inside. He's got the tie plum and he stepped away. Switch of stance here now. We've got a southpaw Roy Armistead for the first time this fight, I believe. Great shot to the midsection. Just mixing his striking up really well.
Well, this is a better fight. This is a better round, rather, for Roy.
Well, when you're fighting on someone who's shooting on you, if you can hit around the midline, you're distracting him from that shot, but mission accomplished.
As we said earlier, that commentator's curse in full effect.
Yeah, and then fantastic
from
from
65. Dom. Fantastic takedown from Dom, as you said, Ben.
Yeah, that's got to be his game plan, is wait for the Roy to just slightly over and telegraph that power shot and just go underneath and get on those hips to change direction. Still a lot of time to work in the round. Roy just needs to take his time, minimize damage, and work his way back up to the feet. For me, Dom, if he could get a bit heavier with his top control, he's just leaving a bit of space for Roy to work with. If he could just close that space down for the rest of the fight, he might find a little bit more success. He doesn't have to be working all the time.
Well, this is better for Don Marfan, and no doubt
he's going to pass here.
This would have been the instruction from the corner.
Look at that instep on the hip.
Look at this.
Watch that head and arm now. Good. Roy's strong. I think he's proven the point here. You know, he went through a pretty tough weight cut, but credit to him, he made weight. But he's very strong. He's strong and probably big at the weight. And you can see that in some of these grappling exchanges.
Well, look at that defense from Roy. He's back to his feet and using every tool in the repertoire. He manages to now reverse the roles on Don Marfan as he goes for a right again, Ben. Twice we've seen that tonight. Amazing.
That judo throw, you know, why change a winning formula? But you can see again, Roy is he's very inventive with his escapes. You know, sometimes it's when people are doing the bog standard escapes you expect, it's easy to counter that. Roy's thinking outside the box here and just using the space that he's being left with to get up.
Absolutely, and we've made so much of Roy's stand-up. Take nothing away from Don Marfan's striking ability. He's managed to land some clean shots of his own, as you can see the damage done just under the left eye of Roy Armistead.
Yeah, absolutely. He's really showing that, you know, he's got striking too. His takedowns are the difference in this fight at the moment. It's a very hard fight to score.
Well, the judges have their hands full early on our main card as we count down the final minute of round number 2.
And this is a hard fight. You know, it's a grindy fight. There's lots of scrambles, lots of heavy shots being exchanged. You know, both of these boys are showing exemplary cardio to be still fighting at this pace, this deep into the fight. And there goes Roy again with that strength. And Yeah, he didn't get up, but he's got a better position now. It's impressive how much he's working. He's never accepting these bad positions.
It's that last 2% of effort, isn't it, Ben? That if you can just give it that last 2% without going to your back or without going down, it makes all the difference and could be the difference in the result of staying under a very heavy full mount of Don Marfan or getting back to your feet. Round 3.
Finish it off.
Here at Eternal 65, let's finish it off, says the Bull, the man in the middle, Pete Hickmont.
Both boys looking fresh, considering the pace of the fight so far. And again, another fight in our lightweight division. I mean, how deep is the talent in this lightweight division?
Oh, it's the deepest division in this country, and I'm sure you'll find that throughout the world. The lightweight division, Ben, any reason as to why that is the most heavily contested division in mixed martial arts?
That was a heavy head kick. I heard the noise, and Dom's smiling.
We'll come back to that in a minute. Head kick lands for Armistead, and he smiled and says, give me more.
I think my head would have come off.
My goodness.
It's beautiful striking here from Roy. He's keeping that range, his range. He's slightly inside Dom's range, so he's been able to land that jab. And then he's coming up with he's got to move his head, though. He can't get too complacent because Dom is decent on the feet.
Oh, absolutely he is. And for what has been the story of this fight is Don Marfan's grappling.
Yeah, and you feel if he could ground Roy one more time, that could be enough to secure the fight. But it's going to be a difficult challenge. And this is beautiful fighting from Roy here. Very smart, using his range, using his slight edge in the striking department just to keep Dom at bay. But when Dom gets that jab working, yeah, Roy's getting his head off the centre line now.
There's a stiff jab from Dom, Ben.
I mean, I think Dom would be frustrated he didn't start using that from round 1. Because the jab's going to give him all the information he needs. And he'll know exactly where Roy is.
Oh, absolutely.
That was a big shot from Roy. But you can see the difference when the jab starts working. Look at Roy's face.
Yes.
It's like when Jack fought Pete Rodriguez, and you see he just used the jab for the whole fight. And the guy looked like he'd been ran over by a bus. And Roy's starting to take that appearance now with the face.
Most definitely, it seems to be that Don Marfan starting to get the better of Roy Armistead here in round 3.
Just by working the jab. Simple. The first punch you should ever learn.
Boxing 101 says Ben Vickers. Take note, ladies and
gentlemen. It's the first one everyone throws out when the fight starts. Oh, I just want to punch this guy really hard. The jab's the hero. Man, look at that overhand right over the top of the jab this time.
Well, these guys have... Well, I was just going to say they've had enough of grappling, and just as I say that, Don Marfan shoots in deep as we approach the halfway mark of round 3, and down goes Armistead. Got to be a tough fight to win from this position.
Yeah, and he's still got half the round to work. It's going to be interesting to see if Roy can find the gas in the tank to keep using those heavy energy-reliant techniques to get back up. This is where he needs to get on his side. He's very flat now. Dom doing a good job of keeping his weight down. It's all come together for Dom in this round, it looks like.
Well, he's on debut. And what a debut victory it would be should he grind out this win over Roy Armistead, but do not count out the man they call Warbread. This fight is well and truly far from over. We've seen him escape positions like this, Ben, in not necessarily conventional styles as he makes up his own way to try and get out of side control. Nonetheless, he ends up in half guard.
That's beautiful. He's got to keep going. He can't stop in this position. Now he's mounted. It was a good attempt, but you can't stop halfway through that move. You have to keep going. He had to get to his knees there, and unfortunately he didn't. It was the right idea. Dom just that little bit fresher, and when you're on top, you've always got gravity on your side, right? So, all the armbar, watch the armbar.
Well, it's all Don Marfan as we approach the final minute of this bout, where Armistead refuses to concede at this stage.
Yeah, and I think it's just the cardio now. Like, he's doing all the right things, but he just can't quite complete the moves because he's tired. And then it's hard, it's draining when you've got a good grappler on top of you. They're heavy, you know. These boys might only be 70 kilos, but when you're a good grappler, you feel really heavy. You've got good base, and it's like trying to move a dead weight off of you. It's like a cupboard falling on you and you're trying to move it off. It's very difficult to do. And he needs to address the legs first here. He's got the grapevines in. If he can't lose those hooks, he's got no chance of getting onto his side. He can't lay flat here and just, there we go, look, he's bridged, he's got onto the side, but Dom flattens him back out again.
Time is Roy's worst enemy here in round number 3 for what started as a fantastic round for Warbred. Can he conjure something here in the final 10 seconds?
Yeah, look, it looks like Dom's just done enough here. It's what he's nicked the fight there. And in my opinion.
Well, we've seen crazy things happen in this sport, Ben Vickers. They go the distance. We will go to a judge's official decision. Nonetheless, give full credit, ladies and gentlemen, to Dom Marfan and Roy Armistead. Ben Vickers, what a war.
Yeah, maybe the weight cut just caught up with Roy at the end there. He just seems to completely run out of gas. But credit to Dom, because he was in trouble for a minute. And he came back. It's been the story of the night, really. It's people like, there's been everyone's had a bit of controversy, minus the Jamie Sporn fight. There's been a bit of controversy for everyone, and it's been about who's managed that better and come back.
Well, we've seen crazier things in this sport, haven't we, Ben? Which is why we love it.
Yeah, absolutely. And look, again, it's one of them that could go either way, and you couldn't have too much of a problem with it, whichever way it went. But credit to both these young lads, like starting out in their career. That's another high-level fight, and to the victor, the spoils, but there's no losers. MMA's the winner in this one, too.
We're bringing out all the cliches in the booth here tonight. MMA the winner at Eternal 65. Great show of respect by both these men. Dom Marfan, a debut he'll remember for the rest of his mixed martial arts career. And as we mentioned, Roy Armistead, will he be granted his first victory inside the cage as a professional? There's only one way to find out, and the man to make it official, your voice of the cage, our fight MC this evening. Here is Blake Richardson.
Ladies and gentlemen, our referee in charge. Ladies and gentlemen, after 3 rounds of back and forth action, we go to the judges' scorecards for a decision. All judges score the contest 30-27 for the winner by unanimous decision in the red corner, Dom Marfan.
Well, Dom, that was a tough fight, and we know grappling is your strength. We saw a lot of it tonight. Was that part of the plan?
Yeah, 100%. Definitely wasn't as clean as I know I can be. But like I said in the cage, like I did want a little bit of a scrap. I wanted to feel someone else land on me nice and clean. I wanted to feel that I'm not made of glass. I can take a good shot, a good hard shot in some 4-ounce gloves.
And you did take quite a few of those tough shots as well. How are you feeling? And how would you describe your opponent's performance as well? It was a tough fight to watch.
Yeah, I think he did good. I switched on a little bit more later in the fight, I feel, like when I kind of noticed he was only looking to stop the grapple. So I started popping him with that jab. I felt myself winning in the striking, and I felt I could switch it up to the grapple, but I was liking it too much on the feet to do that, so I stayed there.
And I guess how important is it to be able to adapt your plan? Grappling is your strength, but like you said, you were striking a lot. Was that a quick decision in the moment?
Yeah. My head coach, Steve Compton, he always talks about even though if he's in the corner or someone else is in the corner, I shouldn't feel like I need their advice. I should feel like I can adapt myself and I can change during the rounds, not in between the rounds, waiting for advice. And I did feel like I could do that.
We certainly did see that tonight. And we know you also have a great team behind you. What's it like training with Elliot?
He's phenomenal. That dude is the best striker in the country. It feels like I'm versing like the ocean when I'm trying to strike him. Like every time I think for sure I've landed, my feet are gone from beneath me, and he's put me on my ass and I don't know where I am.
Well, tonight was a spectacular performance. Will we see you on Eternal again?
100%. Eternal is proven to be the best promotion in the country. I'll always go on Eternal if they'll have me.
Wow, what a fight, Diego. It seems that as the night progresses, the fight just continued to get better. A back and forth war between these two young lightweights. What were your thoughts on that fight overall?
Man, I was so impressed with both those guys because Dom Marfan making his pro debut, he seemed so seasoned in there. It was like he just, he was doing it every day. But for a pro debut, he performed really, really well, and he looked like he's been in there many, many times. And he just showed tremendous skill. I was very impressed with his judo throws and wrestling against the clinch and everything. Stayed composed because Roy Armstead is no joke. He was landing some good front kicks, big overhands, and it seemed like Dom Marfan was tiring out a little bit, and so Roy was kind of seeing that and just kind of started hunting him. But Dom kept composed and ultimately just was too much with the grappling and took out a unanimous decision victory.
Unanimous decision victory. Very impressed with Dom Marfan. His performance on debut here this evening. He moves to 1-0 in his professional mixed martial arts career. Our next bout, a lightweight clash between a returning Tim Schultz as he took on the former eternal lightweight champion in Dave Martinez. Absolutely loves his work, does the smiling assassin. It's Dave Martinez versus Tim Schultz. Eternal lightweight division, Tinner and Nathan cage side with Ben Vickers once again. Ben, a fantastic night of fights we've had. No doubt these two gentlemen will add to that.
Yeah, absolutely. And look, we talked about Tim's improved stand-up, but Dave's been working really hard with Ryan Doyle, I believe, and brushing up that stand-up. And he's got a point to prove that he's not just the grappler Dave that people pigeonhole him to be. So here we go with some leg kicks exchanges early.
Ryan Doyle, Dave Martinez, head striking coach.
And Tim's busy with the legs here. I was expecting more of a boxing, but Dave looks sharp. Dave's striking looks sharp.
Well, there it is, Ben, the superior grappling of Dave Martinez. Can he implement it against Tim Schultz?
Yeah, and look, really, really good way of hiding grappling is by he looked like, for all intents and purposes, he wanted to have that striking fight, and then all of a sudden he's in on the hips and back to old Dave. But
old Dave is back.
Tim's doing a good job so far of isolating a wrist. He's not letting him get, as I say it, gets those hands together. But Tim again staying calm, fighting the head, always busy, looking to defend, not just accepting positions, hand fighting. Sprawls the leg, gets 2 feet back on the floor, is very important. If Dave links his hands here, he's got a good chance of finishing this takedown. But Tim's doing a good job of sinking his base, making him his width hard for Dave to get his arms around him.
Well, it's been a busy night for
the cage.
Yeah, well, for the cage,
there's
exactly.
Been a lot of cage grappling exchanges, but there's always been action.
Yeah, absolutely.
Not people just hanging out there. These boys are fighting against the cage.
No, definitely. And I think that our officials are letting these gentlemen work as much as they can.
As they should.
Yeah, absolutely. As mentioned earlier, that's a conversation for a different time. Nonetheless, back to the action.
Dave got the angle there, but Tim did really well. Oh, beautiful inside sweep.
Smiling Dave is back, and he's back to his old tricks.
Look, yes. He's giving no space. We talked about with Dom, his hips are lower than his head, and his head's driving into Tim's head, not allowing Tim to build that base. And he's got this half guard that's wide open, but he doesn't really need to improve from here. If he can just get a bit of posture and start landing some strikes. He's controlling now with the forearm on the face, just allowing Tim no space to start rebuilding his base up.
Well, we saw this dominance from Dave early on in his career. It was almost like no one could stop him, Ben. He took off with it. He took off to six fights with 4 finishes. And he's looking to get back on the train tonight. Can he do it against Tim Schultz? This is a good indication of what could be to come from the smiling assassin.
Well, yeah, and him and Tim are having a good chat in there, by the way. Tim's done a good job of getting his head up. See, now he's built his base a little bit, but Dave is always trying to stay over him and dominate that height, which is going to make it hard for Tim to get off the ground.
Well, as mentioned earlier, it's been a busy night for the team at Integrated MMA. Tim Schultz, the last of the 3 fighters from that gym under Adrian Payne. We saw Jamie Spawn with a fantastic victory over Kieran Daly. Trevor Sinclair unlucky against Neem Stephen. Tim Schultz looking to do his gym proud, but Dave Martinez making it very hard for him at this stage, Ben.
Yeah, look, a minute 20 to go, and Tim will know Dave. Dave's not going to rush to try and get a finish, so Tim needs to maintain his composure. Just try and stop Dave from advancing position and minimize the damage. But, this is a dangerous high mount. And they're the head and arm locked in now.
Well, this is almost reminiscent of what we saw
This could be the end here.
in Dave's early
Tim's
career.
managed to get on his hip, so I think he's going to get out here.
He does so.
Absolutely fantastic. But, oh, and he's hitting with some hard shots there.
Beautiful
Great work
exit
from
by Tim Schultz, Ben. And Dave senses the danger on the feet. He's back to where he started.
And we see a little cut over the left eye of Tim Schultz here now. 30 seconds to go in the round. Dave's round, but I think Tim can take a lot of confidence from that.
Oh, absolutely.
Again, he's got out of some bad spots. He's landed some heavy shots, and you know his cardio is going to come into play. He's been dealing with a lot of weight on top of him, so we're going to find out about the conditioning of Tim Schultz. And you know, we know he's got heart. We've seen him in grindy fights before. That fight with Cody Barnwell was a tough fight, but Dave's a class act. He's been fighting for a long time, and you know, he can do this all day too.
Oh, he most definitely can. And you talk about him doing this all day with training partners like eternal middleweight champion John Martin Fraser, Jimmy O'Brien. Back to the action. Round 2 is underway, and it's all smiles for Dave Martinez and Tim Schultz inside the cage here in round 2. And one thing I've noticed, Ben, is Dave almost has deceptive striking to set up exactly what we're seeing here.
Exactly, yeah. He's using his experience in this fight. And it's relentless.
Absolutely. Non-stop from Dave. And down goes Tim again.
And expect Dave to take his time here. He's got the whole round now, 4.5 minutes to work. And he's been very busy, and again, Tim's just having to react to everything Dave's doing. It's one of those heartbreaking fights. I just want to get up and throw some bombs.
You just can't.
Dave's not going to let you do that. You know, you're going to have to find your way to your feet. You're going to have to earn your way back to your feet to throw those bombs. But Tim's making all the right noises. You know, getting on his hips, not staying flat, using the cage, and minimizing damage. You know, the key for Tim now is #1 priority is to survive. Right, survive this exchange, survive this bad position, and then escape. But the first priority is to survive. He has another round where they will start on the feet. If this whole round is spent on the bottom, it's better than losing by making a mistake and giving Dave will pounce on any mistakes that Tim makes. So he just needs to maintain his composure and realize he's in the fight still.
Absolutely, that's a good point you bring up, Ben, because we've seen so many times guys, they do get a little bit impatient, and Dave punishes them for that.
Now he's in mount, so it's time to be impatient. You can't stay in this position. Now we've advanced the mount. You know, he needs to bring his arms back to the inside of his body, and he needs to get onto that hip again. Yeah, perfect.
So much pressure from Dave from the top.
Yeah, look, this will be exhausting for Tim on the bottom.
Jeez, look at those elbows coming down from Martinez.
He's not smiling at the moment. He's all business at the moment, the smiling assassin, and he is feeding Tim some elbows.
Oh, absolutely. Tim's got to move here.
Yeah.
He's landing probably 1 in 3 elbows, but those ones definitely do count, Ben.
Yeah, and he still has 3 minutes to work. You know, he got the takedown in the first 20 seconds of the round, and he's bought himself a bunch of time to work. And Tim has got to be really careful with that head and arm choke.
Definitely.
If he could find his way back to the cage, that's going to give him another option.
Come on, Timmy.
He's really got a sense of urgency now. He knows he needs to move.
Well, he's got the back now, Ben, and this is not a good position for Tim Schultz.
And this could be good night, sweetheart. And there's a transition. The hand fighting's actually stopped.
This fight is over. Dave Martinez, victorious in round #2. My goodness. Vintage Dave Martinez,
yeah,
Ben
look,
Vickers.
for me, like, I don't know what the game plan was, but I'm assuming that was it. Fight perfectly followed to the game plan. Threaten with the striking early, take the shot, prove that you're the better grappler, soften him up round 1, get the takedown early round 2, and the rest, as they say, is history. But you know, Tim's done he's a 2-0 guy taking on a 7-4 guy.
Absolutely.
Again, fighters fight. Tim's gone out there and he's fought. It's his first defeat as a professional, but you've seen the character of the man. He'll come back, and I hope to see him back in the eternal cage soon.
Oh, no doubt we will as we take a look at our Jitsu Club replay. Here's the finish. That choke is far too tight for the liking of Tim Schultz. Dave
chokes
Martinez.
in, body triangle, and then as you see, he just puts the hips in, talks the hips, and it's uncomfortable everywhere.
Oh, it's uncomfortable for me in the booth, Ben, I'll tell you that much.
Yeah, look, once a good grappler gets their hands around your neck, it's going to be a tough ask to get them off. You know, it's all well and good knowing escapes, but a good jiu-jitsu practitioner, when they get that position, 99 times out of 100, they're going to finish the submissions. You know?
Well, tonight was one of those 99 times for the Smiling Assassin, as he is back in the green as a professional mixed martial artist. 8-4 for Dave Martinez, 2-1 for Tim Schultz. Congratulations to the two Ryans, Ryan Dunstan and Ryan Doyle at Ignite Martial Arts. And there's that metal mask you're talking about. He'll wear it proud from now on. And here's Blake Richardson to make this fight official.
Ladies and gentlemen, our referee in charge has called a stop to this bout at 2 minutes 58 seconds in round number 2, declaring your winner via submission due to a rear naked choke in the blue corner, David the Smiling Assassin Martinez.
Well, for a guy they call the Smiling Assassin, he's all smiles after that performance, Diego. A round 2 submission victory for the former Eternal Lightweight champion, David Martinez. Your thoughts on the fight?
Man, Martinez looked like a former champ. You know, the guy has been like just on a tear and just prepared really, really well, it seemed like, and he just had Tim Schultz's number tonight. You know, he came out strong from the first, got a takedown as soon as he saw that opening, and from then on, he's just super strong in that grappling. Had Schultz in trouble early, got it like a arm triangle early. Schultz was able to defend, and then they get scrambled up. Schultz gets back up. Martinez gets him back down, and then ends up on top. That was the end of the first. And then in that second round, he does the same thing. He just goes right back to it. Obviously felt his strength there, and he was dominant. And then ultimately ends up getting the back of Tim Schultz and finishing him with that beautiful rear naked choke.
Vintage David Martinez on full display here at Eternal 65. Looking forward to seeing what's in store for the former lightweight champ very soon. Our co-main event featured the long-awaited arrival of Alan Philpot as he took on Justin Lockjaw van Heeren in the Eternal featherweight division. Formerly known as the Springbok, now known as Lockjaw, Justin van Heeren, representing Freestyle Fight Gym, fighting out of Wollongong, Australia. The former native of Queensland in Brisbane in Queensland rather, moved him and his family to Freestyle MMA in pursuit of greatness. Speaking of greatness, in his corner, Alex Volkanovski, Joe Lopez. There is no one better you could have in your team and in your corner here tonight, especially coming up against a tough challenge. What can we expect from the Springbok, or should I say Lockjaw, here tonight at Eternal 65 in our co-main event?
But never mind all of that. What about the walkout? You know, for all the parents out there, they'll recognise the track. But yeah, look, freestyle fighting is not to be messed around with. You know, they're at the pinnacle of the sport with the Volk, and Justin made the move down there. It's a big, bold move. It's a big thing to do. Justin's an active fighter. He fights all the time, and this is going to be where he sees his strengths. He's not got that time out of the cage that Alan has, and you know, Justin's dangerous, man. And if he gets hold of you, he's strong. He's a solid grappler, and let alone if he gets on your back. You know, he has a string of rear naked chokes on his resume, and he's a dangerous guy, man. And he's going to welcome Alan to the Eternal cage, and it's going to be an interesting welcome.
Well, speaking of welcomes, peep the walkout song, ladies and gentlemen. No doubt Lockjaw will be welcoming his opponent very, very soon.
And introducing his opponent, fighting out of the red corner, Alan Super Ali Philpot.
Super Ali embraces the cage here at Eternal 65. Alan Philpot coming into this fight with a record of 19 wins and just 12 defeats. Extensive experience as a professional mixed martial artist, but for the first time this evening, he faces what could be possibly his toughest challenge inside the cage. Fighting out of Sydney, Australia at Igor MMA, Alan Philpot, Super Ali, has arrived here at the Southport Shark Sports Club.
Yeah, you want to talk about experience. This man's got 31 fights behind him. He's had some bad luck with injuries, but anyone who knows MMA at all in depth knows who Alan Philpot is. I grew up in the UK, and as did Alan, come up fighting on the UK scene, and he's fought on all the big events over there. He's fought all across the world, and here he is. We've been talking for a long time about getting Alan Philpot in the Eternal cage. He wants to mix it with the best featherweights in the country, and he knows Eternal's a place to do it. And I'm really, really pleased that we finally get him to make the walk in a difficult test. You know, he's not coming back and ask for a gimme fight. Justin presents a difficult challenge, and Alan's up for it. He wants to prove that he wants his quickest path to the belt, and he believes getting through Justin, he can call for the big fights, #1 contender fights, why not title fight?
It may be the quickest path to the title, nonetheless, it's a tough challenge. As we see our tail of the tape, Eternal lightweight bout, just 1 year separates these gentlemen, height and reach in favour of Lockjaw. This bout proudly sponsored and brought to you by Engage. And for our co-main event introductions, ladies and gentlemen, he's been on fire tonight here at Eternal 65. Here he is, your voice of the cage, Blake Hollywood Richardson.
Ladies and gentlemen, we have arrived at our co-main event of the evening. This fight will be contested in the Eternal Featherweight division over 3 5-minute rounds. And introducing to you first, fighting out of the blue corner, he weighed in at 66.1 kilograms and fights under Joe Lopez out of Freestyle MMA with a professional record of 8 wins for 5 defeats. Ladies and gentlemen, make some noise for Justin Lockjaw Van Heeren. And introducing his opponent, fighting out of the red corner, he weighed in at 66.1 kilograms and fights under Igor Smilhelovic and Johnny Barra Benavides out of Igor MMA and IMMA Balamina with a professional record of 19 wins for 12 defeats. Ladies and gentlemen, put your hands together for Alan Super Ali Philpot. And when our action begins, your referee in charge, Thomas Churchill.
Eternal 65 co-main event. It's Lockjaw, Justin Van Heeren versus Super Ali, Alan Philpot, round 1. And here we go, Tanir Nathan, cage side with Ben Vickers. The energy is at an all-time high here at the Southport Shark Sports Club. Ladies and gentlemen, live on UFC Fight Pass.
Yeah, here we've got 2 Sydney natives fighting in Queensland, and they've raised the roof. The noise in here is incredible tonight.
How did you pull that one, Ben?
You know, we like to make the best fights at Eternal. Geographical location is not an issue for us.
It doesn't matter as long as it takes place, and it's taking place at the home of combat sports here on the Gold Coast.
Both men being very patient here. It's been a long time for Alan. He's been out with a knee injury, and he's really determined to show.
Well, that's what Justin was waiting for.
Justin will want to get this fight on the ground. But Alan wants to prove that, you know, he can grapple. He's known as being a striker, but he wants to prove that.
Well, let's wait and see. Lockjaw off to a flying start here in round number 1.
I know Justin's strong in these positions. You know, he's well trained here, and he's going to be fit, like we said.
Holy smokescreen, look at this.
There's that freestyle fighting cardio that we talk about. No stone is left unturned in preparation.
Straight into mount, Ben.
Yeah, look, again, it's early in the fight, but Alan just needs to maintain his composure. If he keeps moving, he's going to minimize the damage Justin can make, because he keeps having to kick. Justin wants to dominate position, so he's going to have to keep adjusting to Alan's little adjustments. So Alan must stay busy in these exchanges early. He's got half guard now, and he's locked the position down. This is good from Alan, and good from Justin too. Half guard's a nice position in MMA. He's going to look to posture probably and land a bit of damage and see what Alan does, and see if there's any gaps there in his defense.
Well, he's got a wealth of experience, does Alan Philpot, but so does Justin. Lockjaw, he's been in there with the best of them. Toby Meach, a rear naked choke victory at Eternal 54. Michael Barber, a decision unanimously given to what he was the Springbok back then at Eternal 59. Came up short against kickboxer Rod, but he's back inside the Eternal cage against Super Ali, and it's all one-way traffic for Lockjaw here tonight.
But you can see the experience on Philpot. He's not panicking, he's staying calm, he's not taking any damage, he's not expending too much energy, and he's not in too much danger. I have to correct you on that, T. It's been bugging me for a while. It's not kickboxer Rod, it's kickboxer Costa.
Oh, have I been wrong this whole time?
You have, mate.
All right, well, thank you for correcting me. Kickboxer Costa, not kickboxer Rock.
And here they are right up against our commentary position. Alan's very relaxed in this position. Like I said, delaying those years, and Justin is out putting work here.
And this pressure by Lockjaw, absolutely relentless. Good job there by Philpot, bringing Justin into full guard.
Look, between these boys, they've got nearly 50 fights.
Absolutely.
So there's going to, oh, that's a nice armbar and an up kick there from Alan, and he's out. Beautiful grappling exchange there from Alan.
Well, he's out, but he's not out of the woods yet, Ben.
He isn't, but he's calm and he's composed, and he's doing everything right at the moment. Justin's of attrition, work on Alan from the bottom, soften him up, and then look for him to make the mistake as he has to chase the fight as he gets behind on the scorecards. Beautiful trip. That is a beautiful trip. High level stuff there from Alan Philpot. And straight out, and he's going to look to back away, and there we have it.
Right on cue, Ben Vickers. Alan Philpot bringing this fight back to the feet.
Lots of ground control time for Justin, but there's a minute still to work. And we're going to see now if Alan's confidence is up a little bit and how he's felt the ground game with Justin. I mean, he threw a big hook there and it landed, and Justin took it. But we have seen Justin get dropped before, so we know that chin is possible to compromise.
Well, it's there for the taking if Philpot can find it nonetheless. Justin with a flying knee there, just misses.
Yeah, and Alan's just feeling his way into this fight now. He's trying to get Justin's timing. Justin's switching stances a lot today. He's very, very calm there. Never giving Alan a still spot to focus his attention on. Constant movement. Nice head movement too.
Eventful round one in our co-main event here at Eternal 65. Huge thanks to our sponsors at Engage. As you see, ladies and gentlemen, fully kitted out are our mixed martial artists here this evening by Engage.
Great
That's a strong calf kick by Alan Philpot, Ben. Sorry.
Well, when you throw naked kicks, they're easy to see. So Alan.
Featherweight strap, nice and comfortable down with our champ in Jack Jenkins. No doubt he'll be keeping a close eye on this fight. Back to the action here in round two.
And I think Igor is going to be wanting Alan to be a bit more active with the less risk shots, the jabs, the inside leg kicks, the low leg kicks, where Alan's had success. Yeah, look, he's starting to put the combos together now. He's got the and what I like about it is the exit. He's throwing the punches and then he's not there for the shot.
He's not staying there.
Yeah,
absolutely.
Beautiful. Now his ring control is good. He's got Justin right where he wants him. He's backing him up. This is good from Alan now.
Well, there's a big storm there by Van Heeren.
Yeah, look.
Stuffed.
That desperation shot was caused by Alan's pressure and pushing him back against the cage. It was the smart move from Justin. It got him off the fence, but he's back there again. That's
a big moment in this fight, Ben. If Justin can't apply that pressure, it could be a long round two.
Yeah, look, again, he needs to be more lateral in his approach. If you come in on straight lines with strikers, you leave yourself in a lot of danger. So he's lunging in with these shots. I'd like to see him use his reach. Use those, again, like same as Alan. Jabs, kicks.
They're too keen, Ben. They're too keen.
Alan seems to have settled into his comfort zone now. And if I was Justin, I'd look to increase the pace. And you know, he's been out for a long time.
Time.
He's been out for a long time. There could be a bit of ring rust. There could be a bit of nerves. There could be a bit of adrenaline going on. Yeah, a little impromptu shot to the toolbox, and Justin will shake it off, and you know he'll be ready to go.
Well, he might take his time here. He doesn't. He says, "Let's go. I'm ready to go."
No malice there.
No malice in that shot from Philpot. Van Heeren takes centre cage.
Yeah, look, when you retreat in straight lines against a striker who's chaining his striking together and throwing combinations, it's dangerous. If Alan could just finish with a kick, Justin could be in trouble. Ooh.
Well, he opens with a kick, Ben. He must have heard you.
And now this is a chess match, right?
Yes.
These are two super experienced fighters. You know, Justin's got double-figure fights. Alan's had nearly 30-plus fights.
Alan Philpot starting to loosen up here in round number 2.
Yeah, it's hard to imagine the thoughts going through all these guys, but the information they have to process in such a short space of time,
Yes.
and then decide what to do about it.
Absolutely.
All happens in the blink of an eye, and you can almost see these boys doing it.
Oh, most definitely.
Look at the movement. I love that little subtle changes in foot position. I think Justin got clipped with something there as he went through.
Just over halfway here in round 2.
I'm really impressed with Alan's footwork. He's got really nice footwork.
Well, he's starting to pick him off now, Ben. He's timing that uppercut as Justin dips. And whether he's looking for a takedown, Van Heeren, he's got to do something here. Because he can't stand in front of Super Ali. There's a reason they call him Super Ali, Ben. And we're finding out that here now.
Yeah, and look, the more he fought, that beautiful body shot there. And Alan's gaining in confidence now. He stuffed all the takedowns this round, so he's a bit freer with his striking. Now, I think sometimes people forget that in order to be a great striker, you have to be a great wrestler, right? Because if you're a great striker, most people are going to want to put you on the floor, and you have to stop that from happening like Alan is finding out here.
Well, absolutely, but Van Heeren continuing to pressure, and this is better from Lockjaw as he cakes the back bend. And this is big. Nonetheless, Philpot doing a great job of reversing precision here. Ben, take it away.
Well, I can't see if he's inside a triangle here. I don't know how tight it is. It doesn't look to be behind the knee.
There's the tap. Whoa! Lockjaw is back! Woo-hoo-hoo-hoo!
Well,
oh my goodness!
I said in the lead up to this bout, if you make a mistake with Justin Van Heeren, he will submit you.
Oh, I didn't even see it, Ben. Did you see that?
Armbar, I think. Armbar triangle.
Oh, wow.
And Justin, in typical Justin fashion, he's obnoxious after the fight for 30 seconds, and then he realizes, oh, look, I don't need to do that. And he's a very nice person, Justin.
Hey, look, it's what makes him who he is,
yeah,
Ben.
it is. Justin Van Heeren is a fighter's fighter. He gets in there with you look at his record. He's fought everybody
He
that
has.
there is to fight. And look, Alan's been out for a long time. He was just starting to look good. And look, that is the game. It's a matter of inches sometimes, and that's how it is. And I said in the lead up to this fight, if you make a mistake with Justin Van Heeren, he will submit you.
You'll pay for it, Ben. And as we take a look at the Jitsu Club replay, it was all Alan Philpot in the early stages of round number 2. As we saw him loosen up here, working to the body. Nonetheless, ladies and gentlemen, you have a victor, and there it is, as clear as day. Ben Vickers looked like a triangle choke there.
Yeah, look, I didn't see the finish. It was obscured to us everywhere. It looked like an armbar to me from where I was sitting, but, you know, they're in that position, both in the triangle. The arm's very vulnerable, but...
Bring it in, guys. Justin, Alan.
Justin's a good grappler, and obviously what Joe Lopez and the Volk are doing down there at Freestyle, you know, it's inspiring, and it lifts these guys to another level, and obviously the training and the coaching and the skill level is high down there too. So
Quite possibly the biggest fight in his career for Lockjaw, and to make it official, here is for our co-main event to cap it off, we go to Blake Hollywood Richardson.
Ladies and gentlemen, our referee in charge has called a stop to this bout at 3 minutes 55 seconds of round number 2. Declaring your winner via submission due to a triangle choke in the blue corner, Justin Lockjaw Van Heeren.
It's official. It is official. Justin Lockjaw Van Heeren victorious via submission due to a triangle choke, and a great show of sportsmanship after a few words from Lockjaw himself. Nonetheless, both of these men, great respect for each other. No doubt we'll see Alan Philpot back sooner than later. His fans can be proud of his performance here tonight, but the moment belongs to Lockjaw. He's with Blake.
Ladies and gentlemen, I'm here with your winner, Justin Lockjaw Van Heeren. Justin, congratulations on a victory. You've just spoiled the highly anticipated Eternal debut of Alan Super Ali Philpot. Now, we know you're a fighter through and through, but tell us a little bit about your mindset coming in against a highly experienced opponent in Alan Philpot.
Yeah, no, you hit the nail on the head, man. He's experienced. I think this was like his 50th MMA fight. You know, he's super experienced. We've shared cards together before. We've trained together before, so you know, I kind of knew what to expect. He knew what to expect. Obviously, you know, there was a bit of moments in the fight where I could do a bit better. Listen to what my coaches were saying, but he's a competitor. He brought it. I had to adapt, and yeah, we got the win, so I'm happy.
Well, you looked fantastic in there, Justin, possibly a career best. Now, on paper, it's no secret you have a great grappling pedigree, a brown belt in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, but it looked like you were trying to make a statement on the feet tonight. Was that part of the game plan here coming in against Alan?
I mean, obviously people know when it comes to the wrestling and the grappling, I like to do that, but I've got two of the best individuals in the sport in my corner. So we came here to show our well-rounded game, wanted to stay on the feet, you know, when the moments were there. But sometimes the wrestling presents itself, you just got to take it. But real quick, man, I just want to say thank you to my coaches, Joe and Alex. Thank you to everyone that flew up from freestyle. And last but not least, I want to say, Junie, Daddy's coming home tomorrow. I can't wait. And one last thing, my friend sitting cage side right here, Diego Pereira. My man, let's do it. Let's run it back. Like, let's go. If it fancies you, let's do it. If not, you know me, brother, I'm always going to find another fight.
Well, there you have it, ladies and gentlemen, his next call-out. Once again, let's hear it for your winner, Justin Lockjaw Van Heeren.
Well, Diego, all eyes were on this co-main event, none more so than yourself. Please give us your thoughts on the fight. Obviously, Justin Van Heeren, too strong going into that fight, especially getting the finish in round number 2. Your thoughts?
Man, Van Heeren looked good. They come out, I was anticipating watching and seeing how Philpot performs because he is very, very experienced. You know, an Irish kid, had huge support here tonight, and everybody was looking forward to seeing him making his debut because everybody was talking about him. And then he comes out, he does well in the first. Van Heeren takes him down in lockjaw form, just smashes him, grabs a hold of him, puts him down, and then controls him for a bit in that first. And Philpot does well to get up and then, you know, gets back in the scramble and gets control of the cage a little bit more. And that was basically the story of the first round. Second round comes about, Philpot is more relaxed. He feels like he's got the control of that distance. He was doing really well, switching stances. He looked sharp to me in the feet and was dominant there. Had the advantage, in my opinion. But then, you know, they exchanged on the feet for a bit. But again, once Philpot felt like that was a striking bout, Van Heeren ducks down, gets a takedown, and in dominant fashion goes for his thing. And then they get in a scramble for a bit, right? But then Van Heeren slips off and then ends up on the bottom and immediately transitions into that beautiful triangle, which ultimately ends up finishing the fight. And that was a short night for Philpot.
Well, full credit to Lockjaw. You can see that he has come leaps and bounds since joining freestyle MMA. And although the moment belongs to him, he actually took his opportunity in his post-fight interview to call out yourself.
Right.
Now, your response to that call out, is that a fight you're interested in? Are you interested in taking on Lockjaw in the near future on Eternal MMA?
Listen, I am a competitor. He's a competitor. We've done it before. You know, it's out there. Everybody knows what happened in that first bout. He looked well tonight. He may or may not get me to you know, motivated to do it, but it's going to have to make sense. Eternal is going to have to, you know, come speaking to my ear and make my manager call me, and excite me for that one because I knocked his out clean in that first round. So, yeah, it's going to have to motivate me for that one.
Well, whatever the future holds for yourself, all the best, and the same to Justin Van Heeren. He was absolutely outstanding in his second round finish over Alan Philpot in our co-main event here tonight. After a fantastic night of fights here at Eternal 65, we finally arrived at our main event for what many have slated was the most anticipated main event in the history of Australian mixed martial arts. It was Josh Kamikaze Kuhn versus Dimps, the Guillotine Gillies.
I know people probably think I'm wanting to finish this quite quickly. I'm hoping it goes gritty, grindy to the decision.
most people, like, they're going to assume that it's going to be a first-round knockout. I think once he feels my power, there'll be a little bit more respect. He may not just march forward like he does on most of his opponents. I think with those small 4-ounce gloves, he hasn't felt someone who hits like I do, and I think that's going to be the changing factor in this.
The advantages I have over Josh would be my experience in the game. In terms of the ring experience, I have more of it. Take him into his deep waters, he's not used to it. He's used to finishing them first, finishing them early. I'll just take him to where he's not comfortable and then see where he is and see how he reacts.
I feel that the difference is that I'm training purely MMA. I feel like I've got a more well-rounded skill set. I'm sure they're working on everything. I'm sure that they do their wrestling and do their jits and, you know, their defense and everything like that. But the fact that he also competes in boxing quite actively, I think that may play as a disadvantage, as, you know, I've got a bit more of a well-rounded skill set and, you know, I'm implementing it on a daily basis.
Training at NTG for me means everything. It's saved my life, literally, in sense of making me feel complete as a person. All the demons that I may have had built up and frustrations, it sort of doesn't exist in this place. When I'm here, this is my happy place. Every day we grind, and brick by brick we're building a solid foundation and building a complete fighter.
First of all, he's never been finished. So, you know, he's fought some elite level pros of Australia. So to say that those guys haven't been able to do what I do to my most opponents, that gives me a little test right there and shows me that, like, you know, this may not be an easy night in the office. And he's tough as hell, man, but that is what excites me. I want to be tested. I want to be put into those deep waters, and I really want to show what levels that I've got and the skill set that I possess, and Dims is going to give me that.
For one, I don't really take the step backwards. He likes to come forwards, so that alone is going to make for an exciting matchup. It's going to be a gritty, grindy fight, and it's going to be one that everyone should tune in to watch.
Dims is a tough opponent. We're going to stand there and duke it out. I mean, we've made adjustments in the striking aspect, having Brenton, having fought him already before, little adjustments of what he could have done and what he would have done.
I didn't give anything away, and I take nothing away from Brenton. He done a good job, but don't take my past and bring it into my present, because every fight is a different fight.
But this one's just going to be a test of skill. It was the match that needed to be made. It's a fan favourite. It had to be done, so I'm excited for it now that it's been done.
I think it's going to be a fun fight for the crowd, and I feel this will be a Fight of the Year contender.
You know what we do, brother. Come meet me in the middle and let's duke it out. I'm excited for this. I know you are too, so let's give the fans what they paid for.
It is the most anticipated main event in the history of this sport's history in this country. Ladies and gentlemen, the guillotine Dims Gillies is the first person to make the walk to the eternal cage here at the Southport Sharks Sports Club, coming into this fight with a record of 5 wins with just 4 defeats, representing NTG Fight and Fitness by way of Logan, Australia. Ladies and gentlemen, you are looking at a man who has been inside the cage with the very best lightweights in this country, from Sam Flint to Blood Diamond, Blake Donnelly, Brenton Mumford, Dave Martinez. This man loves to fight, and my goodness, look at him. Boy, is he ready. Ben Vickers, I cannot wait for this one.
Some people were born to fight, and Dims is a prime example of someone who was born to fight. I could tell Dims stories all day long. I've known him for years. He's an absolute legend. He's never said no to a fight in his life. He comes to fight every single time. He doesn't get finished. He doesn't quit. He doesn't give up. And his only gear is 6th gear violence.
6th gear for the guillotine as he undertakes his final preparations, courtesy of Mr. Brendan Riley at the Victory Recovery Systems Prep Point. My goodness, Ben, we've waited a long time. 1 month has never seemed longer than what April has been since this fight was announced. Dims Gillies has arrived here at Eternal 65, looking to make a statement against who many state is the #1 sports star in Australian mixed martial arts.
Yeah, absolutely. And look, have you ever seen a man happier to be facing that guy?
None other than Dimps Gillies.
Wait for this roof that blow straight off this joint. I'll do my best to talk over the crowd. Josh Kuhn has sold 1,000 of these 1,500 tickets, and mate, he is the fan favourite.
The fan favourite, he is the biggest sports star in Australian MMA. And here tonight, the kamikaze, Josh Kuhn, bringing his undefeated record to the eternal cage here at the Southport Shark Sports Club. He has been nothing but perfect in his early mixed martial arts career. Jordan Rolenda finished in round number 1. Trevor Sinclair finished in round number 1. And in his most recent performance at Eternal MMA 63, he smashed Taylor Kelly into oblivion in just 49 seconds of the very first round. And as you can see there, Wade Cole, Glenn Sparv in his CMBT, ladies. The kamikaze has arrived here at Eternal 65. Ben Vickers, the moment is now.
Yeah, and these guys, look at these guys' walkouts. They're excited for this. They can't wait to get their hands on one another. This is what they love to do. They're getting paid for the privilege of punching holes in people, and no one likes that more than Josh Kuhn. He's the full package. I actually think he's the full package in MMA too. Although people think he's this knockout artist, he is not a one-dimensional guy.
He is not one-dimensional as we take a look at the Ned's tail of the tape for this eternal lightweight main event. Josh Kuhn, 2 years the elder of Dimps Gillies. Height and reach in favour of the kamikaze. This bout proudly brought to you by Ned's, taking it to the Ned's level. And for the final time this evening, here is your voice of the cage for our official introductions. It's Blake Hollywood Richardson.
Ladies and gentlemen, to those in attendance and fight fans watching around the world exclusive on UFC Fight Pass, this is your main event of the evening. This fight will be contested in the Eternal Lightweight division over 3 5-minute rounds. And introducing first, fighting out of the blue corner, he weighed in at 70.8 kilograms and trains under Nugget McNaught and Stephen Wajanko at NTG Fight and Fitness with a professional record of 5 wins for just 4 defeats. Make some noise for Dimps the Guillotine Gillies. And introducing his opponent, fighting out of the red corner, he weighed in at 70.6 kilograms and trained under Brentford Mumford at CMBT Training Centre with a professional record of an undefeated record of 3 wins for just 0 defeats. Ladies and gentlemen, put your hands together, make some noise for Josh the Kamikaze Kuhn. This main event is sanctioned by MMA Australasia. Your cage-side physician, Dr. Steve Winley. Your 3 judges cage-side are AJ Perry, Claire Fryer, and Al Campbell. And when the action begins, your referee in charge, Peter Hickmott.
All right, gents, you know my expectations, we've been here before. Make sure you listen to my command all the time, defend yourself all the time. Hook 'em up, gents, good luck to you both.
Eternal 65 main event. It's Dimps Gillies, the Guillotine, versus Josh Kuhn, Kamikaze. And my goodness, the energy in this arena is at an all-time high. Cage side with you, ladies and gentlemen. Tanira Nathan with Ben Vickers. And straight into it, Kamikaze pouring on the pressure.
Oh, Dimps clipped him down. And look, Josh never took his eyes off Dimps for the whole pace. He was pacing and staring. He's keen for this fight, and he's coming hard. Dimps is going to have to walk through this fire.
He is swinging for the fences, this Kamikaze.
And there's that forward pressure. Nice leg kick from Dimps.
Absolutely.
And Dimps is just keeping busy with his head. He's keeping his head moving, so he don't want to wear anything clean early. There's some big hooks going in. Nice use of the legs from Josh. We haven't really seen that before.
Hard and fast start by Dimps Gillies. Well and truly still in this fight.
When there's such high stakes with the power, you need to be really careful with your head position when you're thrown. If you overextend yourself, you can leave yourself open to a big shot.
Well, this is exactly what we expected, ladies and gentlemen, from this main event. Neither of these guys taking a backward step.
The Dimps said pre-fight he was considering like moving around. Obviously, that was never going to happen, right? These boys just love to fight, and here they go. And for the first time ever, someone's standing up to Josh's power.
Oh, absolutely. That right hand down the middle, catching the attention of the guillotine.
And Josh is landing, and there's a bit of damage showing on Dims. That's a beautiful body shot. I've always, from the very first time I saw Dims, his body work really impressed me.
It's that left rip, Ben. He loves to go to the liver with that left rip.
Yeah, very, like a favourite punch of mine, and Jack Dell has done it so well throughout his career. And, you know, these boys can take punishment to the head.
Holy smoke screen.
One well-timed shot to the liver, and it's all over Red Rover. So
absolutely.
There's some big shots going in. It looks like that was a big shot from Dims. Josh wears it well.
He's taken the fight to kamikaze as Dims Gillies.
Yeah, look, after that initial onslaught, we've had 2 minutes of this pace. This fight cannot continue at that pace, and both boys now.
Well, there's a shot, ladies and gentlemen. Who would have thought? Josh Kuhn mixing up.
But like I said, he is not a one-dimensional fighter. He works tirelessly at this game. He is a successful man, and he dedicates his whole life to this sport.
Absolutely. And there's a takedown, the first takedown for kamikaze in his career.
And the scramble. Goodness. And Dims is great scramble there. Josh is on the neck. Is he going to hit the guillotine? You'd probably discourage him from sitting to his bum here.
Well, he said it himself in his pre-fight.
Dims just needs to pass around the legs now, and he's going to... Yeah, there you go. Great. Dims is showing great improvement in his grappling in his last couple of fights. You know, he's going the distance with Dave Martinez, even battling through all those positions. And Dims has clearly got some stuff on the ground now, too. As you have to have in this game, right? You can't be one-dimensional anymore.
Totally agree with you there, Ben Vickers. But as Josh Kuhn said in his pre-fight interview, you will see all his tools come out in this fight. Right hand down the middle again. For kamikaze.
For me, the uppercut is the shot for Josh. Dims's head is going super low on the roll. I'd be looking at that uppercut. I feel like this fight's been going on for about 3 hours. It's only 3 minutes in. As we the spinning elbow from Dims. Beautiful fight IQ there, looking at different ways. Oh, and a massive shot.
But kamikaze eats it like it's nothing.
I think that's the first time I've ever seen Josh go backwards in a fight.
And again.
Another big shot, and look, we're seeing some... This is what we expected now. Here's a find out about Josh Kuhn. And he's proving everything that we thought.
Well, this is the test he wanted, Ben. And what a test he has to overcome in Dims Gillies.
Yeah, Josh is never... He's called for all the fights. He wants anybody, and Dims the same. And look at Dims here, just upping the pressure a little bit, coming into the round. Beautiful body shot again. And then straight upstairs afterwards. Perfect textbook boxing there. These boys are enjoying it out there. Josh has wanted to be in the trenches, have someone that can stand there with him and give him a run for his money.
Absolutely he has. He is loving it in there as kamikaze, but so is Dims. And both of these guys giving fight fans here at the Southport Sharks everything they've wanted and more. Ben Vickers.
Yeah, look, I'm lost for words. Oh, that is a big body shot. Josh just eats it. It keeps on going. But look, we knew this would happen. Dims was not going to go away. He's weathered the storm.
He shoots again, unsuccessful this time for kamikaze.
Look, and there was a hint of desperation in that shot. We're 18 seconds from the bell. It's going to be interesting to see how both men bounce back with that. Oh.
Down goes Kuhn. That's a huge left hook by Gillies. Josh has a smile on his face. He's looking to get back to his feet.
It's in the last 10 seconds of the round.
Can he survive?
What a round! Oh my God. And Josh looks out on his feet.
He does indeed, but my goodness, Dims Gillies shocking the crowd here at the Southport Sharks Sports Club.
Josh Kuhn is very unsteady on his stool here. He's going to have to take some deep breaths. He needs Brenton and Wade to get in his ear, and he needs to use this minute wisely. Dims, on the other hand, what a finish to the round, and what a round. I mean, could we count how many strikes were thrown in that round?
Significant strikes, Ben, but this is what I want to talk about. Josh Kuhn reaching deep into his skill set, taking Dims Gillies down. And let's take a look at it here. It's the left hook that drops him, Ben. That famous left hook of Dims Gillies, the one that finished Blake Donnelly, ended his win streak. He's looking to do the same here tonight. Here it comes.
Look, Josh may not have been here before in the cage, but he's been here before. This is not an unfamiliar place for Josh Kuhn. And
not at all.
I expect a resurgence here. He's still got a smile on his face.
There it is there. My goodness, what a shot.
And this chaos is where Josh Kuhn lives. He likes this world, as does Dims.
This place is deafening. Oh my goodness. In all my 5 years of commentary, ladies and gentlemen, I have never heard anything like this. Kamikaze, for the first time in his career, goes into round number 2, but all the momentum is with Dimps Gillies.
Yeah, how's it going to play out? Look, Josh needs to tuck that chin and keep that right hand high. The problem is he's getting landed to the body too.
Dimps staying on top of Kamikaze. He's up against the cage there, but he takes center cage and fires a right hand. Peter Hickmott watching this fight very closely, Ben.
Yeah, look.
He's well prepared for this, is Kamikaze, as you said. Ben, that left hook again.
Yeah, the difference in the fight is Dimps' defense is just that little bit tighter at this moment.
Absolutely, yes.
So he's blocking most of the damaging shots, whereas Josh is wearing them.
How's the chin on Josh Coon, though, Ben?
Well, he's got no second thought of taking any time. He wants to come forward and have a fight.
It's almost like he's an autopilot, and he's still attacking.
Or another big shot from Dimps. And look, Dimps just needs to be patient now. Josh is throwing big. He's got to make him miss and then make him pay on the comeback. And Josh's head will be out of position. So Josh, if Josh could just tighten up, regain his composure.
Big shot to the body, Ben, and up
his
top.
Big hooks. I just need Josh to put his hands by his chin.
Yes. This is where that boxing prowess of Dimps Gillies comes into play. Big moments like this is what Gillies has dreamed of throughout his entire career.
Well, these body shots are taking their toll now. That's like punching the gas tank and all the fuel just slowly draining out of you. It's a strategy to invest in over the period of the fight, and Dimps is doing it so well.
Oh, absolutely technical as ever.
Whoa,
but look at
that.
Coon.
Oh, and a heavy right hand on the back of it.
The uppercut lands for Coon.
Oh, but he overcommits and gets caught with a counter. These boys are teak tough. What a scrap. We're in the pocket.
Oh. They're right in front of us now, Ben.
Yeah, it's actually hard to find words to describe what's happening right in front of us here. But we knew this would happen, right? No one should be surprised about how this fight is unfolding.
Oh, not at all.
And look, Josh wearing the signs of battle. Scars he'll wear proudly tomorrow, no doubt.
Dimps as composed as ever, but so is Josh.
And going to the legs now, that's a smart move. We haven't seen that. Nice straight right hand from Josh. I just like the jab, I talk about it all the time, but that jab is just a freebie. When you throw that nice sharp jab.
It's there for the taking, Ben.
Mate, this is still anyone's fight.
Holy smokescreen, these guys are working. Josh Coon looking to tie up Dimps up against the cage.
And this
is probably in his best interest, Ben. I was just going to say.
Change the game a little bit and just, make Dimps respect the wrestling and know that he can't just think he can stand up and have a stand-up fight with no wrestling threat, which enables him to throw more freely. And look, those guys don't move their heads like that, and we could be looking at someone laying unconscious on the canvas. It's a matter of millimeters at the moment.
What an absolute dogfight we have in round number 2.
And still 1 minute 20 to go. Josh is showing the signs of the war now. I still think he's got that uppercut. Dimps is stuck in his head in a little bit. And maybe a knee up the middle or an uppercut.
There it is, Ben, right on cue.
It's good that Josh is still thinking. He's picking that shot. He's like, oh, he's dipping his head in there. That's a big overhand left from Dimps. Popping the jab out from the southpaw stance now. Dimps looks comfortable in this.
He absolutely does.
Josh's kicks have surprised me, so we haven't really seen them before. He can get his leg up high with power from very close range.
Well, he's mixing everything up here.
He's going to be dangerous until the final buzzer goes. And Dimps respects that.
Holy, look at this. Josh Coon. Titanium chin, and Dimps Gillies is just relentless.
Using the jab. It's beautiful. Look at that switching stance in the right hand. That's superb. That is something Josh has trained in the gym, and he's outlaying it here under the highest pressure circumstance. It's really impressive.
Seconds down from round number 2.
I can't believe we've made it to the 3rd round.
This is everything we had hoped for from a main event. We will go to round 3.
All those cliches about no losers, and let's apply them here. Like MMA and the fans are the winners in this fight thus far. I mean, the fact we're going to the 3rd round is incredible, the amount of damage these boys can take. I feel like Dimps has got the advantage going into this last round. He's that little bit fresher, but Josh is always dangerous.
Everything on display here in round number 2 as we take a look at the Jitsu Club replay live and exclusive on UFC Fight Pass. UFC Fight Pass, the world's premier combat sports streaming service with over 200 live events, the largest fight library in existence, original shows and more. Sign up for an annual subscription at UFCFightpass.com/sign up. And as we take a look back to the action, this is the war Josh Kuhn wanted. This is the fight Dimps Gillies wanted. This is the fight the fans wanted. And as we go into round number 3, Ben, this is everything we have been waiting for and more.
Yeah, absolutely. Look, the crowd are on their feet as they should be. These two warriors. Dimps is up for it. Josh is up for it. The boys are still smiling.
Time off. Time there. Stay. No, just got to get the doctor to check the cut. You go there.
Okay, so we're going to have a look at this cut here.
Well, round 3 underway. The doctor's going to come inside the cage and just take a look at Josh Kuhn.
Yeah, look, this probably plays into Josh's advantage too.
I'm not too concerned. I just can't see how big it is.
I'm pretty sure they're going to let this continue.
Crowd not too happy with what's happening here, and why wouldn't you be? We want to get back to the action, Ben.
Yeah, absolutely, and no one wants to get back to the action more than Dimps right now.
Absolutely.
Here we go, ladies and gentlemen. 3rd and final round of the fight we've all been waiting for, and it has not failed to deliver. And Dimps starting right back off where he left off. Big shots coming in, and the change of head position is getting him out of the way afterwards.
So impressed with Kamikaze taking this fight to Dimps. Nonetheless, it has been all Dimps Gillies.
Look, after the first minute and a half of Josh's onslaught, Dimps has took over. He's weathered the storm like he probably knew he would have to.
Absolutely.
He's felt the power and he knows he can take it, and he's grown in confidence as the fight has progressed. And there's been a few times it looks like Josh is out of it, but in fairness to Josh, you know, his conditioning and his professionalism, here he is in the 3rd round, still coming forward.
He's still coming forward.
Still banging.
And landing, Ben.
Look at the head movement from Dimps. Yeah, what you probably don't notice to find things, none of those punches are landing dead clean because Dimps is just slipping and sliding out the way and then just not clocking it.
Absolutely, even though Josh is quite clever with his shot selection, as you mentioned earlier, Dimps Gillies, his defense is just that much tighter.
Oh, his head movement's exceptional. I mean, apart from the times where he goes a bit low with the rolls, his head movement's exemplary. 3.5 minutes to go. And my God, these boys have earned a hard-earned beverage after this one. 'And the output is so high still.
It's non-stop, Ben. It's been non-stop for 10 minutes.
They've never stopped punching. They've never stopped taking punches. And to be honest with you, looking at it right now, neither of them looks like they're not going to make the end of this fight.
But that's the thing. It's been non-stop for 12 minutes as we count down the final 3 minutes of round number 3. This main event has delivered.
Yeah, and look, for me, Josh just needs to dig to the bottom of his socks and just keep pushing and try and find something special, find that dynamite and detonate it on that Dimps' chin. But Josh is really pushing the pace this round. I'm so impressed by his cardio.
What heart shown by Kamikaze in round 3.
Both men.
But you can see Dimps, his face is quite clear as he lands a beautiful left hand down the middle. Switching stances, Ben. He's opening up now as the guillotine.
Yeah, and the volume's coming back the other way now. So it's almost like Dimps lets Josh have the first couple of minutes and then turns it on for the second half of the round when he's emptied that tank.
And that shot from Josh Kuhn is a sign, a telling sign rather, to say that what Dimps is delivering is quite successful, going low with that calf kick, Ben.
Yeah, absolutely. And I'd like to see Dimps kick the legs a little bit more. It's been a boxing fight at times, and then in patches the boys have used their legs, but never really in conjunction with the hands. Look at that head movement there.
Wow.
Dimps is seeing everything now.
Looking as smooth as ever is Dimps Gillies.
These boys are very similar.
But there's some big shots landed there by Kamikaze. Oh my goodness. You've got to be kidding me.
The crowd are on their feet and the noise is absolutely electrifying.
No, these guys are... Oh.
Look at that body work and the technique. But Josh is just outputting so high.
They're going 1 for 1, Ben.
Oh,
that's a huge right hand from Dimps. But Kuhn is still in this fight.
Could he snatch a neck? I reckon these boys would do this for 10 rounds. They just don't have the heart to give up. They're too strong. They're too stubborn. They're too determined. Each man is gonna make it to that final bell. Oh, another big shot from Dibbs and back to the body. But Josh just walks through the fire and carries on throwing his own.
He has kept this pressure for the entirety of this fight. But every time he does, Dimps Gillies comes back with shots of his own. And you can see the damage on Kamikaze.
Yeah, and look, there's 30 seconds to go, and these boys, look, they're still throwing at a pace that most people would start a fight at. These boys are finishing the way they started.
These guys will throw down to the final second, Ben Vickers. Oh my goodness.
And a big deep sigh from Dimps there. There's 10 seconds to go.
10 seconds left.
It's all heart at this point.
They'll leave it all in the cage, ladies and gentlemen. Dimps Gillies and Josh Kuhn.
Oh, the final whistle. What a fight. I've never seen anything like that before in my life.
Holy smoke screen.
Oh my goodness me. If you are not on your feet at home in your living room, get off your couch and get on your feet for these gentlemen.
Oh my goodness.
I've never seen anything like that before in my life.
Violence personified here tonight at Eternal 65.
Holy smokes. What a way to come back, T.
Welcome back, Ben Vickers.
The boys, oh mate. Dimps Gillies, Josh Kuhn. Surely that, yeah.
Hey, well, you're in charge of Fight of the Night bonuses. Ben Vickers.
Mate, it's just been one of those nights where every next fight was the fight. It was fight of the night until the next fight happened, and they set the bar early, and these boys have just blown that bar clean away. Josh Kuhn, he's up. He's going to get the support of his adoring fans. These people love Josh.
Southport Sharks stand up for Josh Kuhn and Dimps Gillies.
Mate.
That is quite possibly the best mixed martial arts main event in the history of the sport, Ben Vickers, and it happened right here at Eternal 65.
Ladies and gentlemen, after 3 back and forth rounds, we go to the judges' scorecards for a decision. All judges score this contest 30-27 for your winner via unanimous decision in the blue corner, Dimps the Guillotine Gillies.
Well, Dimps, that is why people love watching this sport. That was energetic, chaotic, and you couldn't take your eyes off the cage. How are you feeling?
I feel good. I feel like I left it all on the mats, and as a competitor and as a fighter, I think that's the main purpose. You train 6 to 8 weeks, digging deep. So the last thing you want to do is leave that cage and you got something left in the gas tank. So I'm sore, I'm tired, and a hard day's work.
And we know Josh Kuhn is always going to come out explosive. How do you prepare for something like that?
For this one, I sort of just carried the momentum from my last camp and my boxing match, and I just try to use this time, the last 3.5 weeks, just to get my body to this point. I wasn't really trying to come up with a game plan or strategize the whole camp or whatnot, because I didn't really have time. I just worried about getting the weight down, making weight officially, and making it to the cage tonight.
And there was moments in there where you and Josh were going 1 for 1. What was running through your head during those moments?
What was running through my head is thinking, they usually start to crumble. They usually start to backpedal now, but he just didn't go backwards enough for me to get enough forward traction. So we just met each other in the middle, and that was the result of what you've seen tonight.
The crowd reaction was also, everyone was going off. Everyone was yelling and cheering. Did you hear any of that?
I heard everything. I always hear everything. I'm so aware in there of everything. It's like it's just another day to me. It's another thought. It's nothing really. I'm never overwhelmed by the feeling, but I always love hearing that crowd. It's deafening, and even though it is loud, it fires. It fuels the fire that I need to perform to the best of my ability.
And you were just checked over by the doctor. You look like you're in a little bit of pain. What did he say?
He said about 6 months. I think I broke both my hands. Actually, I don't think he said get an x-ray because I've probably broke both my hands. So that's a credit to how tough my opponent was. And he just had no quit in him. So, if anyone's watching anyone, it should have been me and Josh tonight, because we just showcased why we are the fan favourites and why everyone pays good money to come watch us bang.
And although you will have to recover for a little while, what's next after this?
I just want to recover. I didn't get to recover from my last fight, so I'm going to take this time to chill with my family and get my body adjusted. Look for somewhere to, really get my body worked on so I can fire on all cylinders properly, because at the moment I think I'm performing at 70%, 75% in training, and that's not going to cut it when I reach that level that I'm aiming for.
If this is 75%, people should be terrified to see 100%.
That's it. Nothing, like I said, that was the best of me on showcase tonight. As best as I could have got in as little time as I could have had. I done what I needed to just to get here, and whether I won or not, I didn't really give a S, because I was just trying to get this body to the finish line. I'm here and I'm happy, and I'm just extra happy that I won tonight.
My goodness, Diego Pereira, is that the best main event you have ever seen here at Eternal 65?
Man, I'm lost for words, honestly. Like everybody else in that crowd, after they had yelled their lungs out, you know what I'm saying? Everybody lost their voice. I know you lost your voice. You were commentating that thing. I was just cage side. I could not believe the action these guys put in. Team Skillies, man, came out, and everybody anticipated this to be this kind of fight. Just a war from start to finish, and we had the 15 minutes that we wanted. What did you think?
I thought it was fantastic. I've been doing this a long time. You've been doing this a long time. I have never seen such an entertaining main event on any fight card. We were so privileged to have it here at Eternal 65, an absolute war for 15 minutes. Now, if we break down that fight a little, Diego Pereira, no one better to do it than yourself. Dimp's probably the more technical of the two, but you got to give credit to Kamikaze. He never stopped marching forward. He never took a backward step. In fact, when he was hurt, he almost went into autopilot and said, you know what, I'm prepared for this. This is what I love to do. Bring on the fight. He took it to Dimps even when he was hurt. What did you think?
Man, like you said, you got to take your hat off for Josh Kuhn. Had never, up to this point, gone out of the first round. I mean, he had maybe just over 3 minutes total fight time up until now. So for him to, like he said in the pre-fight interviews, he wanted to get tested, and I think he got that tonight. He showed tremendous heart. He was hurt early. He got dropped. He got back in the second, did way better, and then in the third got dropped again. It was just an all-out war. Both men were hurt. I mean, Deem Skillies ended up with his hand broken. He just hit him so much. Both men were just going at it. It's just super strong technical war, and I think the fans tonight just got the best of it, man.
Oh, absolutely they did. The fans in attendance, those watching on UFC Fight Pass at home, we got exactly what we asked for. We got more than we had bargained for here in our main event at Eternal 65. And there we have it, a fight card that delivered and exceeded expectations here at Eternal 65 on the Gold Coast in Queensland, Australia. That's all we have time for here at Eternal Playback. Until next time, I'm MCT. I will see you on May 29th at Eternal 66, Becca versus Aguilera in Perth. Till then, it's bye for now.